everyone, and welcome back to another Sims 3 speed build. So I want to apologize right off the bat if this seems a little bit quick. This build took me 5.5 hours to complete. The building structure portion of it, the exterior, not quite that long, maybe an hour or less. But the decorating, as always, I'm very slow, and that is what ended up taking the extra 4 hours for 4.5 hours in time. So in order for me to get it for less than 30 minutes, I had to really speed it up. So I again apologize if it's a little fast. But however, this house is my newest build that I have done for my series from the ground up. So this is the house that my Sims children, their son, who just recently got married, will be moving into, or is by this time moved into. This house sits on a 20 by 30 lot. It will cost your Sims approximately 160,000 simoleons to move in furnished. Now, if you were to get it unfurnished, it'll cost your Sims approximately 69,000 simoleons. So, I ended up naming this house off of a movie that I actually quite enjoy. It's one of my more favorite movies. I believe it's from the 80s, called Pretty in Pink. If you've ever seen that movie, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. But it is one of my more favorite movies. It has Molly Ringwald in it, and I don't know, there's something about this movie I really liked. So, but anyway, I kind of named it off of that because I thought this house turned out absolutely beautiful. It's probably I don't have very many houses, honestly, that I have created myself. That I actually really find really pretty, that I actually really like. This happens to be one of them that I actually really like. I love the way it turned out. I kind of kept it a little bit more old-fashioned on the inside. I kind of went in the decorating a little bit back to the way I used to decorate. I don't decorate exactly the way, like this anymore, but I just decided to do it a little, go back to the way I used to decorate on the inside, which is probably why it took me so much extra length in order to decorate and furnish it. Because doing what I did does take a lot more extra time. I had to use the creative style a lot, change the colors a lot, so that takes up, of course, a lot of extra time. But I really like the way this turned out. I do get asked a lot, quite often, how do I build without looking at a picture? How do I build without looking at a floor plan? Well, I just kind of go with the flow. It's kind of hard to explain what I do. In this case, for example, in this house, when I went and started building the house, I had one thing in my mind that I wanted to make sure I included. Or that I wanted in this house. And what that was the staircase going into the house. As you can see, you have a full length, full story staircase to go up basically to the second level to take you into the house. That's the main floor. And then of course I had the garage underneath. So in a way, I guess you could say I had in my mind like a townhouse style where they have a garage underneath, and then they have like a small area down below where maybe their laundry room would be at, or storage, and then the main house is actually on the second floor and up. That's kind of what I went into this build wanting to create, but not exactly a townhouse, but a house in general. So usually when I start building, I have some kind of idea in some way or another that starts the whole process. So I usually go in and I create, for the most part, what it is I wanted to incorporate, or I just make sure when I get to that part of the build, I incorporate what it is that I wanted. So that's basically what I ended up doing here, and then the rest just kind of fall in place. I don't make a square. I try to make different shapes. So when you go in and you do it, just go ahead and, you start off where you want. Add maybe another section here, have it come out a little bit, have it go in a little bit. Don't make an exact square or rectangle. Make different sections where they go in a little bit, out a little bit, here and there. And then of course the second floor, if you ever look at any of my houses, they're never a full 2-story, I always have all the extras in roofing. That's because, again, on the 2nd floor and up, I make it smaller in some way or another. Again, I don't make it perfect squares or rectangles. I take some in, take some out. I really like the look of dormers, so I tend to add in a lot of dormers if I can. So that's just kind of the basics of where I go into the build. And like I said, I just kind of go with the flow. Nothing is exact. So, but yeah, that's kind of how I get started. I have an idea of what I want, and then I just kind of go from there. What I'm doing here, I decided I wanted to give this a try. I wanted to do like these flower boxes in some way or another. And for the most part, they do turn out. I think you'll end up seeing different flowers in there because I was actually having a lot of trouble with my game. It kept wanting to crash, and I had to redo this section where I was creating these flower boxes, and I had to redo the kitchen about 4 times. Every time I would do it, I don't know, if I wanted to exit out and save, it would crash. It crashed repeatedly, and I had no idea what was going on. I honestly thought maybe my house or my build was glitched, because that can happen. So I actually saved my lot, and I went out and I opened up a brand new fresh world, and I put it in and I started building, and it crashed again. And that is when I really thought, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with this house. I can't upload this if you can't save it. If it's going to keep crashing your game, there's something wrong. Well, I decided, why don't I go in and try clearing out my cache? I hadn't done that yet, and I thought, well, if something is screwing it up, maybe clearing out my cache will help. So then I went in and I cleared out all the cache files, and then I started the game back up. And I haven't had a problem with it since. It was fine after that. It never crashed again after that. I don't normally have a crashing issue. I mean, I'll go months, if not, 8, 9 months without a crash. I go a very long time. I don't usually have any problems whatsoever, but this was really starting to bug me. I really knew there was something wrong. So I went ahead and I cleared my cache. And I think what it was there's probably something that did get corrupted. And cache files basically saves information. It saves temporary information from one thing to the next. And if you have an issue, if it happens to be something that's getting saved in the cache files, deleting your cache files is of course going to fix it. So there are, as you can see, there would probably be small little changes that's going to be different. I tried to keep it exactly the same because I knew I was having to keep doing it over and over again. But I believe the flowers and the little flower boxes outside, I believe, end up becoming the pink roses. And I think the flowers or the bushes along the front fence, I think, are slightly different as well by the time I finally got it done. Because this video here that you're seeing is the original video. This is what and I just now noticed I didn't add all them extra stuff under there. I forgot about those. The towel and the soap and all that. Oh my goodness. I think I forgot. I never did that. All those times that I had to redo the kitchen, I guess I redid it about 4 times. I had this feeling I was going to forget something. Well, I forgot all the clutter, so I apologize that the downloaded version, when you download it, is not going to have all the extra clutter. But I did remember the food processor and the microwave. And I'm just now realizing I didn't put the rugs back in either. I'm not sure if I remember that potted plant either, honestly. I have no idea. I don't know what's going to be in there anymore or not. I guess we'll just have to keep watching the video here and see what ends up getting changed and what ends up not being there, because yeah, it apparently I couldn't remember everything. So I was originally going to put, I don't usually care when it comes to a dining room or the table. I usually put it where I want because I like the way it looks more than it working, as in your Sims working. But I had all those chairs in there, and honestly only like 2 or 3 worked. And I thought, well, that's a little ridiculous. I have this big dining room table and only have 2 or 3 chairs work. So I ended up removing the 2 end chairs. That way they could, because they weren't going to be working anyway. And then I went and, I still think there's only a couple of chairs. I'm sorry. But there are 2 other chairs that are sitting out that you will see that Sims can also sit. They're just kind of there. So it's not a completely loss of chairs. And here I just decided I want to put in kind of like a nice cabinet area or something or another. Just to, kind of look, I don't know, a nice cabinet counter. Makes it look like it has a drawer that you can pull out and maybe keep some pencils and stuff like that. You can get to the phone. Now I think about it, did I move that phone? Because I think after I put the chair in, I don't think you'd be able to get to the phone. I don't think the Sims can get to it. So I hope, yes, I did move it. Good. I was thinking, I sure hope I moved that. Otherwise, you got a phone in your house you can't even use. So here is the living room. This would be what I would probably consider maybe more or less like the formal living room, I guess. It does have a TV, but it's a little bit more nicely decorated. And it is in the main part of the house. So this house does come with like a formal entrance. It has a powder room. You have 2 living rooms, or I guess you could say a living room and a family room. There is a formal dining room, an eat-in kitchen. There is a laundry room, and I believe there's a total of 4 baths, which does include the powder room that I've already previously mentioned. The master bedroom, there's like, did I say 4 bedrooms? There is 4 bedrooms. The master bedroom does have an ensuite bath, which it originally did not, and it's not technically an ensuite. You have to get to the bathroom for the master through a hallway. So I guess you could say it's not technically an ensuite, but it's still kind of like the master's private bathroom, I guess you could say. So, it is kind of theirs. It's different, separated from the main of the house. And if you're in the family room watching TV, playing video games, whatever it is you happen to be doing, there's another bathroom there for your guests to use. So instead of using the master. So here is the formal entrance. I decided it was kind of weird having this section right here, just kind of sticking over here. I guess I could have put a chair or something there, but I decided to go with a closet. So it's a fake closet. It's not like your Sims can actually use it. And who would have their closet, honestly, when you first walk in, have glass doors where everybody could see your shoes and coats? I mean, that's not realistic, but in The Sims, for some reason, it looks good. I don't know why, but for some reason, it looks good in The Sims. So that's why I created it, just to kind of fill in the space. Here's the quarter bath. A quarter bath consists of only a sink and a toilet, also known as a powder room. So that is what I decided to create here off of the entrance. It was just a small little section. I figured, that'd be great for a powder room. So, I mean, you could have guests over. Maybe you don't really like this person too much. You don't actually want them to go through your house to get to a bathroom. And so right there's a quarter bath. You can just say, there you go, and then send them out the door on their way. You don't even have to have them come through your house. So, but this is the landing. I ended up not having like an office or anything like that. So a lot of times what I'll do when you have a landing this size, it's a pretty good size landing, is I'll actually create it and turn it in and have like a computer. So that's kind of what I did here, just like a small area for your Sims to get on the computer. And when I was decorating, I actually forgot that I had a computer there, and I put another desk and computer in one of the kids' rooms. So you actually are going to have 2 computers in this house, which I don't normally do. When you have 1 computer already, I don't normally have 2 because the Sims already get obsessive with that computer, and they tend to think that's all they can do is play on it. So, when you have multiple computers, then you have an issue where tons and tons of Sims, your whole household is playing on the computer. So, yeah, usually try to limit the amount of computers down to 1. So, but I forgot about that one. I'm sorry, I forgot about it. So, there's 2 computers, unfortunately, in this house. So, but you could always delete the one in the kids' bedroom. That way they can use a desk as just doing homework, because a lot of times your Sims will do that. They'll either use the dining room table, or they'll use a desk that's in their room that does not have a computer, and they will do their homework there. So that's kind of nice. So here's the master bath that I was telling you about that's off of a hallway. The hallway is actually goes to the master bedroom, so it is kind of like the master bedroom's hallway, and it is kind of like their personal bathroom. So this is kind of, it's not technically an ensuite, but I didn't really want this hallway going to the bedroom to really kind of be useless, because I find that useless. It's a waste of space, but it doesn't look very good to leave the staircase open either. That just doesn't make sense. So that's why I put the hallway there. And I thought, well, I could have had the bathroom actually attached to the bedroom, but again, then that would give kind of a useless hallway, kind of wasted. So that's why I made the door go into the hallway. So, and a lot of your house plans actually do that anyway. They'll have their own little hallway that separates the bedroom into, that they go into for the master bedroom. So I decided I was going to use some lamps that I don't normally use. I used these a couple of times, I think, but I decided to use them, and I kind of took the blue off of those lamps, and that's what the theme I ended up going with. When I decorate in a bed, in any of the rooms, honestly, I pick something in the room to play the color off of. So in this case, it was those lamps. I took like I said, the bluing out of the lamp, and I kind of do it, went off of that. And what I do, because it does not look right, in my opinion anyway, decorating, to make everything the exact same shade of color. So like the blue, for example, they are not, as you can see right, the flowers are different. They're pink instead of red. But anyway, it doesn't quite look right if you have it all the exact same shade. So what you do is you just kind of use the color wheel and just get into the blue and just kind of move it around until it gets to a shade that you like. It's not going to be exact. It'll be a little bit different, but at the same time it will match, it will go. So, that's kind of what I do. I don't use the exact same color number for it. Now, I was going to make this huge entertainment center here downstairs, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it was going. I almost kept it. And then I was going to try putting a fireplace underneath the TV, and I thought, well, I remembered that when you do that, even though you take the chimney out, the Sims still can't use that spot behind the fireplace. So I decided to go ahead and take it out and change what I decided to do. So like I was saying at the beginning, where I said that the way I was decorating was a little bit like what I used to do when in my older videos, if you were to watch them. And what I mean by it taking a long time and having to use the creative style so much is I changed all the wood trim. Back in your older houses, they did a lot of having the trim of the house. So you would have wainscoting, or you would have crown molding or baseboards, or the fancy trim around the windows and doors would all be the same wood. It would even be the same grain. So if that house was made with oak or mahogany or pine or whatever, they didn't usually use pine back then, especially in a fancier house, because that was not considered, wealthy enough. But they had it all the same wood grain, and it would even be stained the same. Your staircase would be wood. It would be stained. They really didn't use carpet way back then. But, the house got a little update. Maybe the certain areas get a little cold. Maybe that lower level is a little bit more chilly, so the carpet is in there just to help warm it up a little bit. You never know when people put carpet in, especially if they live in a cold area like where I do. Oh my goodness, if I had all stone or all wood floors in my house, it would be positively freezing in the wintertime, because I have a full basement and you can just feel the cold air come up through the wood floors. So depending on where you live, sometimes you have carpet. And that's why I tend to put bedrooms in with carpet, because honestly, when I get up in the morning, I like to put my feet on something warm and not a cold wood floor. I actually have wood flooring in my bedroom, but I have a large area rug that I can step on that's not quite as cold, because that wood floor, even being upstairs, still gets a little chilly in the wintertime. So, and I keep my house pretty warm, so it's not cold in my house whatsoever, but the floor on my bare feet feels really cold. So that little bedroom there that I just did, I apologize, I just kind of missed the bedroom, but that little yellow one that I was doing, I kind of considered it to be like a guest bedroom, and I don't normally use yellow because I find yellow in decorating is just a little bit too bright. But I thought it turned out pretty good going with kind of a little bit of a yellow coloring, so that's what I ended up going with. This is the other bathroom that your guests can use if they are downstairs, you know, in the family room there watching TV or whatever. This bathroom is right off of that room, so again, they don't have to use the master bath. But we all know Sims, they're going to use your master bath whether you want them to or not, unless you lock the door. So if you really don't want them to use it, lock the door and then they won't go in there. Make it where only your household can use it. Or maybe you don't want your kids' Sims to use it at all, so you can lock it for everybody except for yourself, and then you can have that bathroom all to yourself. So, but anyway, this bathroom is just what it would be considered, I think it's considered a half bath because it has a shower. Now, if that was a bathtub and no shower, I believe that is considered a 3/4. I'm not sure. I could have that backwards. But anyway, it just has a shower. There's no tub. I was thinking about making this where it had, you know, curtains or whatever going where the bedroom or the bed and stuff was, you know, a little fancy, but I decided no, I wasn't feeling it, so I got rid of it and decided to go with these bunk beds instead. I do have a little bit of a video issue. I didn't even realize it. I must have accidentally hit the button, the hotkey, to shut off my recording. And you kind of get to see everything I do in this room, but the next bedroom is kind of completely skipped. I didn't even realize it, and I apologize for that. You will see a little bit of it, but for the most part, the next bedroom is completely finished, and I did not get that video. I do apologize for that. So, but this is the kids' bedroom I was telling you that has a computer. So there's your second computer. But here's the bedroom where I didn't realize, as you can see, we just skipped forward. I didn't realize until I had all the furniture placed that I didn't have it recording. I don't even know how I did it, but I managed to hit the button and shut off the recording in the middle of it. So, but here is, I don't know if you want to consider it maybe a teen's room or another guest bedroom, but I kind of decorated it towards a teen room because I started putting some of the posters and stuff on the walls, kind of towards, I guess you could say, maybe a boy teen type of room. So now here's the garage. The garage is just big enough to fit a car. I didn't want it to be too big. I wanted to keep it a little bit on the narrow side. I didn't want it to be a huge garage, so that's why it's a little bit small. Hopefully I have the parking space forward enough to where Sims can go through the garage and out the door if they so choose. But I did try to move it forward, so hopefully. And just doing some train paint. I do layers and stuff like that because, you know, usually you do have some dead grass from all the shoes and stuff running on it. And then you do have a little bit of where the grass is coming up. And then, of course, the deeper areas usually have sitting water, making it darker. So, well, anyway, we're coming up to the screenshots now, just doing the last of the lighting. And yes, there's a Christmas or a snowy version of it because it was snowing at the time when I was building this, so I thought I'd throw in that picture. It was quite pretty. But again, here's the screenshots. I hope you enjoyed. Any comments or suggestions, go ahead and leave them below. And I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.